Welcome. My name is Molly Horseman, and I am a faculty member at the VA Quality Scholars Coordinating Center at the Michael E. DeBakey VA Medical Center. This Methods and Analysis mini-module was developed in conjunction with VAC's Methods and Analysis faculty, Dr. Susie Miltner and Dr. Brant Oliver. In this mini-module, we will be reviewing statistical process control charts for attribute data, which includes classification and count data. When choosing a statistical process control chart, you will start by first determining what type of data you have. This mini-module focuses on the statistical process control charts used for attribute data. Attribute data is non-continuous data. The three most commonly used statistical process control charts for attribute data are the P-chart, the C-chart, and the U-chart. The P-chart is used for classification data, where you are classifying something into one of two categories. The data is binomial. The numerator is the number of units that have the feature of interest, the ones, and the denominator includes all of the examined units, the zeros and ones combined. Imagine you are leading an improvement project to increase colon cancer screening. You may be interested in the percentage of patients receiving colon cancer screening and categorize patients as either having received the colon cancer screening or not. In this case, you will have a denominator, which is the total number of individuals eligible for colon cancer screening, and a numerator, which would be the total number of patients who received colon cancer screening. Combining the numerator and denominator would give you a proportion or percentage where the numerator cannot be larger than the denominator. The C and U charts are used when you are counting the number of events. This means that your numerator will be a frequency count. Going back to our example of colon cancer screening, your team may be interested in measuring the actual number of colon cancer screenings completed by your facility rather than the percentage of patients who receive the screening. In this case, you would use a C chart or a U chart to analyze your data. The choice between using the C chart and the U chart depends on whether or not you have a constant denominator. If the capacity to complete colon cancer screening is constant month to month, you would have an equal opportunity for the cancer screening to occur each month, and a C chart would be an appropriate statistical process control chart. On the other hand, if the capacity to complete cancer screenings varies each month due to availability of staff or equipment, then there is an unequal opportunity to complete the screening, and a U chart would be the appropriate statistical process control chart. To remember the difference between the two, remember that the C chart has a constant denominator. This table provides a summary of the differences between the P chart, C chart, and U chart. The P-chart is used for proportions or percentages with binomial data. One of the key features of the P-chart is that the numerator cannot be greater than the denominator. Because the control limits for the P-charts are calculated point by point, the denominator of the proportion can be the same for each data point or different for each data point. The C-chart and U-chart are for count data. Because you are counting the number of incidents, rather than classifying whether an incident happened or not, it is possible for the C-chart and the U-chart to have a numerator that is greater than the denominator. For example, if we are interested in counting the number of medication errors per patient, it is possible, although not desirable, for patients to have more than one medication error. Remember that choosing between the C-chart and the U-chart depends on the size of the denominator. C-charts are used when the denominator for each data point is constant. U-charts can be used when the denominator for each data point is constant or varies point by point. However, in practice, the U-chart is rarely used when there is a constant denominator. Next, we will look at an example of how a measure for falls in the hospital would look for each type of attribute chart. First, imagine that you are interested in measuring whether each patient admitted to the hospital experienced a fall during the hospital admission. You could categorize all admitted patients as having had a fall or not had a fall during the admission. In this scenario, the outcome of interest can only happen once per patient. Each patient either fell at least once or had no fall. Thus, your numerator would be the number of patients who had a fall, and your denominator would be the total number of admitted patients. This would give you a proportion where the numerator cannot be greater than the denominator. In collecting the data for the P-chart, your team finds that some patients have multiple falls during an admission. If you want to count the total number of falls, you will use a C-chart or a U-chart. Because each person in the denominator can have more than one fall, it is possible for the numerator to be larger than the denominator for C-charts and U-charts. If you have a constant number of patients admitted each month, you can use a C-chart and simply plot the number of falls each month. If you have a variable number of patients admitted each month, you will need to use a U-chart, where you will plot the number of falls per patient. For the U-chart, you will collect the number of falls each month, which is your numerator, and the number of patients each month, which is your denominator. Now, we will look at each of these charts using the corresponding measure for falls. First, we will look at the percentage of patients who have a fall during a hospital admission using a P-chart. For the P-chart, you will notice that you need data for both the numerator, the number of patients with a fall, and a denominator, the total number of admitted patients for the month. In the P-chart, the control limits fluctuate based on the size of the denominator for each data point. Like confidence intervals and inferential statistics, as the denominator size increases, the width of the control limits decreases. Conversely, as the denominator size becomes smaller, the width of the control limits increases. Next, we will look at the number of falls in the hospital per month with a C-chart. Remember, the C-chart is used when there's a constant denominator, so in creating the C-chart, only the numerator, the number of falls, is needed. One of the first things you may notice about the C-chart is that the control limits are straight. This is because the denominator is constant for each data point. If we were to analyze the chart using the IHI detection rules, you would note that the mean number of falls each month is 29.5 and that the range is 22. There are no shifts, trends, or points outside of the control limits, which means that the underlying process is in statistical control and that the near future performance is predictable. Unless there is a change in the system, you can predict that there will be between 9 and 37 falls in the month of September. We will next look at the number of falls per patient using a U-chart. You can see that for a U-chart, you will need both a numerator and a denominator to create the chart, because the denominator varies. Although your numerator is much lower than your denominator in this case, it is possible for the numerator, number of falls, to be greater than the number of patients, which means that you need to use a U-chart. Like the P-chart, the control limits on the U-chart are calculated point by point. The smaller the denominator, the wider the control limits. The larger the denominator, the narrower the control limits. If you were to analyze this U-chart using the IHI detection rules, you would note that there are no shifts, trends, or points outside of the control limits. To monitor for improvement, it is preferable for your attribute chart to have an upper and lower control limit. In this example, we see a C-chart where the measure of interest is medication errors. As you can see, there is no lower control limit, as it is not possible to have a negative value for medication errors. Knowing that fewer medication errors is the goal, the loss of the lower control limit means that the team working on this project will not be able to use a point below the lower control limit as one of the signals of special cause variation. The team will only be able to use shifts below the median and trends to monitor for system improvement. One of the reasons that you may lose the lower control limit is that your denominator is too small and you have too few observations per data point. This may result in you having frequent zero values for your variable of interest and a sawtooth pattern in your statistical process control chart. The Healthcare Data Guide recommends that no more than 25% of your data points should be a zero. If you have too many zeros, you may want to combine data points. For example, report the data quarterly instead of monthly. Or you may need to use a rare events chart, such as a T-chart or G-chart, which will be discussed in future mini-modules. Monitoring improvement data using statistical process control charts enables us to understand variation in our system and should guide our improvement efforts. Special cause variation means that the system performance is unpredictable. Teams should work to identify assignable causes for changes in system performance. In systems that only have common cause variation, the near future performance of the system is predictable. However, just because the performance is predictable, it does not mean that the performance is desirable, and steps may need to be taken to make the process more reliable or redesign the process to improve mean performance.